What if I told you there are cars under $8,000 that can outlive brand new vehicles costing 5 times as much? That some mechanics quietly hope never show up on their lift? Not because they're hard to fix. Because they almost never need fixing at all. Today, I'm showing you 3 of these cars. Machines that can easily cross 500,000 miles without breaking a sweat. My name doesn't matter, but my hands do. I've spent the last 23 years underneath cars, and I've learned every trick these engines use to survive decades of neglect. Don't skip this video, because everything I'm about to tell you comes from real work, real engines, and real mistakes I've seen owners make. Not some script I read off the internet. Let's get into it. Number 3. The Toyota Camry, specifically the 4-cylinder models from the late 90s through the mid-2000s. And I want you to understand something before I go any further. This isn't some enthusiast's dream car. It's not flashy. It's not going to turn heads in a parking lot. But that's exactly why it's still running when the flashy cars are sitting in junkyards. Here's what 23 years of turning wrenches has taught me about this engine. The 2.2-litre and later the 2.4-litre 4-cylinder Toyota put in these Camrys were built with tolerances so tight, so conservative, that they barely stress themselves even under hard driving. I've had customers bring these cars in after 15 years of oil changes done whenever they remembered. Sludge everywhere. And the engine just kept running. I used to think that was luck. It's not luck. It's over-engineering. Now here's where it gets interesting. And I promise you, this is the part that made me start paying real attention to this car. A few years back, a taxi company brought one of these Camrys into my shop. Not for an engine repair, but for a transmission fluid check. I looked at the odometer out of habit. It read just over 620,000 miles. Original engine. Original transmission. I actually pulled the car apart that day just to see the internals, because I didn't believe what I was looking at. The cylinder walls still had factory cross-hatching. That's not supposed to happen at that mileage. That's the kind of thing you see on an engine with 20,000 miles, not 620,000. That's when it hit me. This boring family sedan was quietly one of the most indestructible machines on American roads, and almost nobody was talking about it. The transmission deserves its own credit here too. Toyota kept things simple with this generation. No overcomplicated multi-clutch nonsense. Just a straightforward automatic built to handle far more torque than this little 4-cylinder could ever produce. I rarely see Camry transmissions fail unless someone completely ignored the fluid for 2 decades straight, and even then, these things fight to survive. And here's the part that matters most for you, the buyer. Because this generation of Camry was made in such massive numbers, parts are everywhere and they're cheap. An alternator, a water pump, a set of motor mounts. You're talking spare change compared to what you'd pay on a European sedan. You could own one of these for a decade and spend less on repairs than one single transmission service on some of these newer reliable crossovers everyone's obsessed with. Resale? It barely depreciates anymore. These have hit the floor. People who own good examples don't sell them, because they already know what they have. So if you want a car that will start every single morning, ask nothing of you, and quietly outlive cars worth 5 times as much. The Camry isn't just a safe choice. It's the smart one. But as tough as this engine is, it's not even the most stubborn car on this list. Because what I'm about to show you next has survived conditions that would have killed a Camry in half the time. Number 2. The Lexus ES300, specifically the models built from 1997 through 2001, and this holds true all the way through the ES330 in the mid-2000s. And here's the twist right out of the gate. This is a luxury car. Leather seats, smooth ride, quiet cabin. The kind of car people paid $35,000 for brand new. Today, you can find a clean one for under $8,000. And that right there should tell you something, because usually when a luxury car gets cheap, it's because it's falling apart. This one isn't falling apart. This one is just getting warmed up. Here's the secret almost nobody outside the shop knows. Underneath that Lexus badge, that ES300 is running the exact same bones as a Toyota Camry. Because it basically is one, dressed up in a tuxedo. Same legendary V6, the 1MZ FE, wrapped in extra sound insulation and nicer trim. Toyota took their most bulletproof engine, and Lexus took their most obsessive quality control, and put them in the same car. That combination is borderline unfair. I remember a retired couple who came into my shop maybe 6 years ago with their ES300. They'd bought it used back when it already had 90,000 miles on it, and they'd been driving it every single day since. Errands, church, road trips to see the grandkids. When I pulled up their maintenance history, I actually sat back in my chair for a second. 480,000 miles. On the original transmission. I asked them what they'd done to keep it alive that long, expecting some special secret. You know what they told me? Nothing. Regular oil changes. That's it. No transmission flushes. No special additives. Nothing exotic. Just an engine and transmission that Toyota and Lexus built so far beyond what they'd ever actually need, that basic care was more than enough. That's the moment I stopped recommending brand new luxury cars to older drivers on a budget. Because why would you finance a $70,000 car with computer screens that'll be obsolete in 5 years, when this thing rides just as smooth and just keeps going? The suspension on these is worth mentioning too, because Lexus tuned it specifically for comfort. Soft, absorbing, forgiving on rough roads. That matters if you're dealing with bad knees, a bad back, or you just want a car that doesn't rattle your fillings loose every time you hit a pothole. And unlike a lot of luxury cars from this era, the electronics on the ES300 were kept relatively simple. No overcomplicated air suspension that fails and costs $3,000 to fix. No touchscreen that bricks itself after a software update. Just simple, honest luxury that was built to last, not built to impress a reviewer for 6 months and then fall apart. Parts and repairs stay reasonable too, because remember, under the skin, it shares so much with the Camry that a lot of common parts are the same, sometimes even interchangeable. You get the comfort of a luxury car with the repair bill of a Toyota. That's not supposed to exist. But it does. Now, the number one car on this list. I want you to really pay attention here, because this one isn't just reliable. This one has survived things that would have destroyed both cars I just told you about, combined. Number 1. The Ford Crown Victoria, specifically the Panther platform models from 1998 all the way through 2011, and this includes its twin, the Mercury Grand Marquis. I know what you're thinking. That's just an old cop car. And you're right. That's exactly what it is. And that's exactly why it's on this list. Here's what almost nobody outside the industry knows. This platform wasn't just sold to regular folks. It was the backbone of American police departments and taxi fleets for over 2 decades. Departments ran these cars 24 hours a day, in freezing winters, brutal summers, high-speed pursuits, idling for hours with the engine running non-stop. And Ford knew exactly what that meant. So they didn't build this car to a budget. They over-engineered it like they were building a tank that happened to have a trunk. Under the hood is Ford's legendary 4.6-liter V8. The modular engine. Mated to a simple, heavy-duty 4-speed automatic. No turbo to fail. No complicated hybrid system. No 12-speed transmission trying to be clever. Just a big, low-stress V8 that barely works hard even at full throttle. Bolted to transmission built to survive a police officer flooring it from a dead stop over and over for 10 years straight. I remember a retired cabbie who brought his old Crown Vic into my shop for what he thought was going to be bad news. A strange noise he was sure meant a blown transmission. I pulled the maintenance records while I had it up on the lift. 530,000 miles. Original engine. Original transmission. Turned out the noise was a loose heat shield. A $2 part. I remember laughing out loud in the bay, because I was fully prepared to give this man a $5,000 repair quote, and instead I sent him home with a car that was more solid than trucks I'd seen with half that mileage. That's the moment I really understood what body-on-frame simplicity does for longevity. This car has no fancy unibody stress points to crack, no complicated all-wheel drive system to wear out, no delicate sensors hiding behind every panel. It's built like they expected you to run it into the ground on purpose. And even then, it refuses to quit. Here's why this matters for you. Because so many of these were sold to fleets, there are thousands of them sitting in used car lots and driveways across the entire country right now. And I mean right now, today. You can find a clean, privately owned Crown Victoria or Grand Marquis for $3,000 to $6,000 without much searching at all. Parts are everywhere and they're cheap, because mechanics have been fixing these for police departments for 25 years. An alternator, a water pump, brakes, pocket change compared to almost anything else on the road. And for a lot of you watching this, especially if you remember when cars had real bumpers and real steel, this thing rides soft, quiet, and comfortable, like a living room on wheels. No confusing touchscreen. No subscription fees for heated seats. Just a big, honest V8 sedan that starts every morning and asks nothing of you. 3 cars. 3 completely different approaches. 1 Toyota that just refuses to quit. 1 Lexus wearing a tuxedo over the same bulletproof bones. And 1 Ford that survived police pursuits and taxi duty for a decade and still has another decade left in it. If you're tired of watching your money disappear into car payments and surprise repair bills, one of these 3 cars. Bought for under $8,000. Could be the last car you ever need to buy. If this helped you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more honest, real-world car advice from someone who spent his whole life under the hood, and tell me in the comments. Which one of these three would you drive? I read every single comment, and I'll see you in the next one.